Hello everybody, my name's Richard Scott and I'm a media lecturer here at Ayrshire College, and this little video presentation is really for anyone who's interested on what goes on in our media department or is perhaps considering studying with us here at the college. Now, I'm not going to drill down on specific units on our courses. We're constantly changing our content to keep up with the demands of university and industry, but I am going to talk to you about the types of content you'll find on our courses, show you some examples of current and previous students' work, and we'll also give you a brief overview of the courses that we offer. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the focus of our department is the study and production of traditional and new media. And what that really means is that we look at all different types of media, old well-established ones like magazines and newspapers, through film and television, all the way up to online video content like you see on YouTube. We have 3 full-time courses. Our Introduction to Film and Broadcasting course, that's our level 5, and that's a great place to get started if you need a grounding in the basics like editing and a basic video production, so camera work, using tripods, that kind of stuff. It also is a really great place to learn a little bit more about the creative industries in general and also learn how to work in a team, which is very, very important. I'll talk to you a little bit about that at the end. But teamwork is massively important in our course, and we think we get a good grounding of that in our level 5. Our Film and Broadcasting level 6 course, well, that's more about preparation for the HNC and getting a little bit more academic, so it's probably a 50-50 split between academic work, studying different kinds of media, and 50% making different kinds of media. And in that course, we really pull you in all different kinds of directions, so you'll look at radio, you'll look at comic books, you'll look at feature writing, filmmaking, obviously, television, it's a vast array, animation's another one. It really does pull you in a lot of different directions, and the purpose of that being is just because you came in wanting to study film doesn't mean you might not leave wanting to study radio, and we think it's really important for all of our students to have a grounding in the vast array of jobs and potential options out there for a media student. And our HNC Media Analysis and Production really that's the equivalent of first year university, and that really begins to focus slightly more on film, television and online content creation, both in the terms of studying it and learning about it and delving down into some of the heavier theories, and also taking up our productions a notch, trying to make them higher quality and preparing students really for a university. We also have broadcast channels. I'll be talking to you about them throughout, but ACTV is our YouTube page and website. Like and subscribe. I've got kind of into the habit of saying that now. And AC Productions is a kind of a offshoot of that, and it's really about corporate video creation. All of the students that come onto our course get the opportunity to get their hands dirty, as it were, and actually work on a corporate video out with college hours, essentially. So you get a good bit of work experience, which we think is vitally important whether you're applying for university or considering going straight into employment. So let's start with one of the biggest areas of our courses. Film Studies and Production is a substantial part of all the courses that we offer. We study film in a creative context, so we look at visual storytelling techniques, from camera work to editing to lighting, to different techniques that different filmmakers use. We also look at it in an industrial context where we drill down on certain filmmakers. So for example, this year our HNC have been looking at Sergio Leone and also Francois Truffaut. And then we look at it also in a societal context, and what that means is we look at the impact that society has on the films it produces, and also how those films can then impact society. So for example, our HNCs, again in second semester, they can look forward to this, we'll be looking at the superhero film, the superhero cycle that is going on at the moment, and asking in what way is it a reflection of the society that created it, and to what degree is it impacting on the society that those films then get distributed to. So that's the kind of stuff we do when we're studying film. We also spend a lot of our time making films, and when we make films, we'll take you right through the full production cycle. We start in pre-production, where we'll look at idea generation. We'll then move into script writing, a little bit of shot listing, script breakdowns, where we look at how to get the props we need, the actors we need, make sure everyone gets to set on time. Then we move into production, where we're starting to think about things like our blocking, our actual filming and lighting of our scenes. Don't worry if I'm saying some terms that you don't know. You can either Google them later on or why not just take our course and find out? And then post-production, where we'll look at the edit, so putting the film together, colour grading it to make it look as nice as possible, and then maybe doing a little bit of sound tweaking as well and adding soundtrack to it. So every single time you come on, you start a production, you'll pretty much go through that full production cycle. You'll do it numerous times on whatever level of course that you apply for at the college. I'm going to show you an example now. This is one of the first projects that, in fact, this is the first project that all of our students work on. Doesn't matter what level they're on. We always start with 1 minute movie, which is the basic brief is to tell a story in 1 minute. And this was the first project that every student works on when they come through the door. And this is an example of one from the HNC this year. It's called Logged Off, and it's about social media. So it's not just film on our course, there is an animation element to it as well. We have one animation unit on each level of our course. So on the level 5 and NQ, we have basic introductions to computer animation, and computer animation can range from sort of Flash style animation up to Maya, but a lot of the time we focus on stop animation, mainly because we're going to look at and study the principles and techniques associated with basic animation. This is things like squash and stretch and stopping in and stopping out. We think it's important that our students, like I said right in the introduction, have a grounding in all different types of media, but animation in particular can impact the way that you make films as well. HNC Media, we look at a little bit more detail at the history of animation. We look at the various different eras, important figures, be it people at Pixar or all the way back to sort of Walt Disney and early animation. We go through a full stop animation production, and what we produce are idents, so little video logos essentially for each individual student's production company, and that's what I'm going to show you some examples of now. These are 3 different students' animations and their production company logos, so essentially whenever that student makes a film in future, while they're at the college, they'll have this little animation on the beginning of it. Okay, so one of the areas that's really growing in our department at the moment is content creation for YouTube. On our level 5 and our NQ, there's no official unit there to support it at the moment, but all the work that we produce goes up on the YouTube via our ACTV page. We encourage extracurricular projects and personal projects, so if you want to do a games review or you want to vlog about, I don't know, like hamburgers or something like that, we'll do what we can to support you in that venture, and we'll also, if you've got any technical questions of that, we'll try and support that as well and help you out. And if you want to distribute it through our ACTV website, we'll also look after that as well. On our HNC Media, that's perhaps where it's getting a little bit more exciting. We have now got a specific content creation unit, and on that unit we basically First of all, we study YouTube and the various techniques associated with the editing style, etc. We ask you to pick a YouTuber of choice and analyze their work and talk about their history. But we also have the chance to work on an individual YouTube project. And as I said right at the very beginning, there's a lot of group work in what we do, but in this case here, it's kind of fun because you get to work on something individually, and you can have people help you out if you want, but you'll really be the sole driver of that project. And it really does create some varied results in terms of the kind of content that we hear about. So for example, this year we've got someone doing video games reviews, we've got someone doing fitness stuff, and we've got someone doing a comedy show, we've got film reviews, we've got various different kinds of things going on, and it's really quite exciting to see. And as far as I'm aware, it's the kind of the first of its kind. Like our department is really grabbing the bull by the horns when it comes to new forms of content creation. So what I'm going to do is show you a little example of one now. This is by a student called Andrew who's on the course this year, and this is really the most YouTube video I think we've ever had on the course. So I'm not going to show you all because it's quite long, but you can see the full form version at ACTV on YouTube. But I'll show you the first 2 or 3 minutes of it. So this is Andrew's review of the terrible PlayStation 1 game, The Fifth Element. So here he is.
Hi there, I'm Andrew, nice to meet you. You might be wondering, where am I currently? Looks a little hot, am I right? Well, I'm in hell. Now you get the joke, because it's in hell and it's hot.
Oh my god, I'm so quirky and funny, it's unreal. Hashtag, I'm so quirky. Grrr.
So you might be wondering, how I got here? Well, the green screener here, I didn't actually have the budget to go to actual hell, you know, because I'm a broke film student. So this is the closest we're getting, boys.
Oh, wait.
This is the closest we're getting to hell.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, how did I get here? Well, I played the game. And knowing how bad it was, I let other people play it. You know, because I like to watch the world burn. The Fifth Element game was released on PlayStation 1 in Japan September 1998 and released the following month in Europe. The game was developed by Callisto. The game was developed by Callipo Entertainment, who created games such as Nightmare Creatures and Park in Time.
Oh my god, that was so funny, huh?
The game was released with god-awful reception and garnered a lot of criticism over the years. And this game is considered to be the worst game for PlayStation 1.
No, but like real talk, this game is bad. Like really, really shit.
Burn it with fire, quick! Oh, bad touch. Come on, what do you think the creative team was thinking when pitching this? As we continue and completely gloss over the fact that this game has nothing to do with the story, we jump straight into the game.
Oh, okay.
So photography is another area where we try and have at least one unit on all levels of our course. So on our level 5 in our NQ, it's really about an introduction to photography. We look at basic lighting techniques, how to control a digital camera manually, so operating the ISO, aperture, etc. And also a little bit about the genres of photography, so looking at different types of photography and their application. On our HNC media, you develop photography skills, develop advanced techniques, and produce a portfolio of your photographic work. And again, this is a lot of the skills required for photography are quite applicable to film studies and filmmaking, as it's sort of training your eye to essentially compose better images. Radio and podcasting is another growing sector on our courses. On our level 5 in NQ, you'll study the basics of radio drama, so learn how to tell a story without visuals, learn the basics of capturing and editing audio to make sure it's as clear and clean as possible, and how to add in various effects and tidy things up in the post-production stages. We'll also produce a group radio drama of various kinds of genre. We've worked on zombie ones before in the past. I'm going to show you an example of a space one in a second, and also at the moment we're working on a kind of Stranger Things, a Stephen King style thing on our level 5. Our HNC media, well, radio production skills, we start to drill down a little bit more on specific techniques again. You'll learn how to operate our sound booth studio, learn field recording skills, so how to take the microphones out of the college and still get a good quality recording. And you'll have the chance to work on individual projects again, so you'll produce 2 episodes of a radio show or podcast of your choosing. Again, the results here, because we allow people to talk about whatever they want, have been quite varied. So we had one on K-pop a couple of years ago, which was really fun and interesting. And last year we had a great one about a choose your own adventure books, where someone was reading a choose your own adventure book and someone else was taking part in it. It was really great radio. It was really entertaining. So podcasting, radio, areas that maybe a lot of people come into not knowing so much about. A lot of the times they're really turned around by the end of it. It's really fun and exciting, and you can really produce a quality product with not a lot of equipment. So it's always a lot of fun. I'm quite partial to it, as you can probably tell. So just a little example, this is something from our level 6 last year, and it's called Space Pirates, so here's a little sample.
Captain's Log, Stardate 9420.06. We are currently on course for the planet of Clom. My crew long for home. This has been a long year for them. We have...
Captain Rainbow Beard, we are picking up an extremely high energy signal from the planet below.
What planet, Officer Floop?
It's called Safar, Captain. It's nothing but a junkyard.
Quick, show me the energy readings. My god, they're off the charts. What the hell could give off those readings?
No idea. Should we investigate?
Well, it could be valuable. Prepare a landing party, officer.
Aye, sir.
Captain's Log. As I dispatched my crew to the planet below, I was filled with excitement at what I thought could be untold riches or the key to the galaxy. I was far from right. The planet of Safar was a glorified junkyard full of shipwrecks and scavenger bots. A smoky ash filled the air, but in the distance, my crew saw a bright light.
Captain, we're just going to run some basic scans to try and identify it.
What in the blazes is happening?
It appears we're crashing, Captain.
Captain?
Not now, boy. Can't you see we're a bit busy here?
But Captain, I think...
What is it, shipmate?
Well, Captain, it appears the stardate is rapidly descending.
What in the hell are you talking about?
Well, we're going back in time, Captain. Captain, I think it's gonna blow!
Everybody get down!
So script writing is an essential part of the production process, and we look at it whenever we're studying film. You'll get used to using the script formatting software and that, but it's worthwhile mentioning it on its own, because on the NQ and the HNC, we have it as its own unit. On the level 5, you'll do a little bit of script writing as part of the production units, and you'll be introduced to the professional software which we use. But on the NQ, we'll start to drill down a little bit more and give it its, like I say, own specific unit, and you'll be scripting for various different kinds of medium there. So you'll learn to script for radio, podcasting, television, and film. You'll also look at the relationship between script writing, genre, and audience demographics, and how those demographics and audiences affect not only the genre but the overall form and content of the work that you've produced. On our HNC media, we just delve down even deeper again. So we have script writing for creative, so you'll look at how to script drama and how to get the best out of your characterization and your essential storytelling. But we also look at script writing for factual, which is really good for anyone who wants to work in documentary or wants to produce factual content. If you're a big fan of a Made in Chelsea or Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And that's kind of bringing us to the end of a lot of the content that we cover. I just thought I'd also throw in honourable mentions to the following things, which often, in some cases, have units of their own, but also are certainly talked about across the course at various levels. So we also study and produce content in a number of other popular mediums. So television studies features heavily on our NQ, as I mentioned earlier on. Likewise with comic books. So last year we studied the chilling adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch, now a Netflix TV show. But obviously it's a visual medium, and it's another thing worthy of study, if only because of the amount of comic book films in the cinema at the moment. Video games, we kind of obviously it's a massive topic of conversation in our classes. This Christmas we're having a Smash Brothers tournament in class, but it's also featured on our HNC. It's something that we study and look at a little bit, and particularly the relationship between it and filmmaking. Feature writing, so learning how to write feature articles and how to analyze them, that's there too. Advertising, likewise, we look at different forms of advertising, which is really, really good, concise, short storytelling form to an extent, and lots of addictive techniques on lots of techniques on how to addict your audience and keep them engaged. We also look at video essays. Video essays is a growing part of our course. If you're a fan of The Nerd Writer or Every Frame a Painting, we look at that sort of technique, and I'm going to show you an example right now. This is from a student called Nathan, and this is from 2 years ago, and yeah, so let's just get into it. This is his video essay on film theory. Won't show you all, but again, ACTV if you want to see the full thing.
Genre has a wide variety of uses, but in film it's essentially a way of classing a piece so its intended audience will know what to expect when watching it. Essentially, it's the individual elements of the film, the style, tone, meanings, and even technical aspects like camera angles and music, all of which make up the overall genre. As well as defining the target audience for a piece, it is also important when creating the story, as it not only creates expectations for the viewer, but also guidelines for the narrative to follow. For example, Guy Ritchie's 2009 adaptation of Sherlock Holmes has a very clear genre, a comedy crime caper, and that's going to be explained later on. The narrative is a major aspect of a genre. Although it is usually the genre itself which gives hints at the plot, it does work vice versa. For example, if I were to go and see a film about two guys trying to save the world by stopping a terrorist blowing up a building, I would expect that genre to be action and probably comedy, because that sounds like a ridiculous premise, to be honest. And if it were about a down-on-his-luck man falling for an out-of-his-league woman and somewhere along the line he messes up like every tired trope ever in this kind of genre, I'd expect it to be a romantic comedy. The same goes for Sherlock Holmes. Two men with a friendly rivalry, solving crimes to get to the bottom of a bigger plan. I'd expect that to be a buddy cop adventure film, which is essentially what it is, albeit in a different time period than usual.
Okay, so way back at the beginning you might remember that I mentioned a corporate video and AC production. So a work experience is essential, whether you're thinking about university, future employment, or even starting your own company, as a couple of our students did last year. A big shout out there to Replay Media. AC production is an after hours project which runs like a real production house, so it's the best way of getting the actual experience of working production at the college. A range of jobs will come in over the year from external and internal clients, so that might be a different department, say fashion, asking for us to make a video, or it could be someone from outside. We've had a range of different clients around Ayrshire asking us to make content for them. Students are offered the opportunity to work on these projects to gain real life employment experience, and it really is fantastic in terms of boosting either your CV or your UCAS. Again, as someone who's worked production and also teaches it, to really get the experience you have to do it. It's one thing in the classroom, it's another thing when you're out there on set, and time is ticking essentially. So AC Productions is a new thing. It's not essentially part of the course, it's not a must do, but we highly recommend the experience, and I just think you should do it. That's the bottom line. If you want to study media, it's something that I'm right behind. So just as a quick example here's something that we made earlier in the year. This is for the Great Barber Bash. It was done for Ayrshire College's Hair, Beauty and Makeup department, and they had these barbers come in and they were cutting hair live and answering questions. So the students had to work a live camera that fed out to a big projector, but then we also had to cut a little video afterwards to sort of commemorate the event. So here's a little example of it, the Great Barber Bash video from this year. Okay, you're probably sick of hearing me say it by now, but ACTV is the name of our YouTube channel and distribution network. In our department, the media department, creative work tends to find distribution. We think it's an essential part of the creative process, not just that you make the video and that you're happy with it, that you put it out there for the larger world and you get some form of feedback on it. Having lecturer feedback is great, having peer feedback is really good as well, but having someone who has no vested interest in your future or of what you created telling you what they think is, worth its weight in gold. So we think it's a really important part of the process, and we try and distribute and get as wide an audience as possible for anything that you want to put up on our YouTube. We also are starting to, and as I say, this is sort of new ground for us, so we're not experts in it by any means, but we're certainly learning more about it every day. Studying analytics and basic promotional skills, so learning how to make sure your video reaches the right audience through using tags and metadata, etc. We think this is essential for anyone who is going into the media industry in 2018 and beyond. So we're obviously paying a lot of attention to it, and anything we learn, we pass on to our students, and vice versa. We learn a lot from our students in this particular area. So ACTV is our distribution network, and it's where we have a lot of fun. Okay, congratulations to you who have managed to make it through this video presentation. I'm hoping that if you've made it this far that you're at least interested in perhaps studying media with us or studying media in general, and that's great news, because the more people want to study media, in my biased opinion, the better. We have a criteria that we look for in our students. Now, I'm not going to talk about grades. They're up on the website to see, but we do make allowances in certain circumstances. I'll say that as well. So if you look at the webpage and you don't necessarily have the grades you require, still apply for us or come in and talk to us. I'm going to give you the details in a second, and let's see if we can work something out. If you seem like you're right for our course, we can on occasion take a risk. What we look for. So we look for enthusiasm for film, television, and all things media. I don't really care what kind of television you like or what kind of film you like. I like sort of strange stuff and not always what would be considered the best of television or film. I just want you to be enthusiastic about all the different kinds of media that are out there, and my co-worker John, I'd imagine, feels exactly the same. The more variety, the more different types of media we're into, the more interesting the classroom. So we're well behind that. I don't think you have to be into the fanciest of films or the highest quality of dramas. If you like Keeping Up with the Kardashians, that's great. Come in and talk to us about it, and let's see what we can figure out about it. So one of the things that's really essential if you're considering working in media and actually studying it is that you're good in groups, that you can work with other people. Now, if you're a little bit shy in that's absolutely fine. Come into our course, and I'm sure by the end of it you will no longer be, as I found out every year I've been here. But you have to be a team player, essentially. It's something that we look for in who we interview, and it's something we like to see in the classroom. Film is not an individual pursuit. We often get sidetracked by thinking about things like the director, Steven Spielberg, Tim Burton, but there's hundreds of other people that work on those productions, and you have to work as a team. So we really, really admire people who can work well in groups. A positive attitude, well, we were talking about grades earlier on. What I'm more interested in is that you can come into our class and have a positive attitude and bring something with you. 9 times out of 10, the person who's the most positive, the most upbeat, and the most hardworking will always deliver the finest quality of product. So we're really keen on people with a positive attitude and a willingness to knock yourself out of your comfort zone. If you've had a chance to check out ACTV, you'll see that we get up to some pretty weird stuff in our department, and it's not always the most normal and a comforting of experiences. Now, you don't again have to come in being willing to be out there in front of camera and all the rest of it, but over time we'd like to see you in front of camera, certainly, but also testing yourself and testing the waters. It's media department, media in general, if you work in it, is an area full of big personalities, and we have to get you to that stage. So that's something we work on over the course of the various years, but certainly a willingness to take part and to be involved is key. So must-have abilities, some of this is a little bit repetitive, but attendance and timekeeping is fundamental. You're working in teams, other people's grades and results are on the line, so we like people who have good attendance and good timekeeping, and evidence of working with others is another massive thing. So if you've been in a team sport before, if you play online gaming even and you're committed to it, whatever it may be, but if you can show evidence of working with others, that would be amazing for us. if you've got any questions about this stuff, like I say, I'm about to give you the details. In fact, let's just go on to it and I'll give you the details now. So you've survived this presentation and you're interested in applying for one of our courses. What do you do next? Well, you can visit www.one.ayrshire.ac.uk and locate our courses on there and apply online. If you have further questions for myself, you can tweet us at ACTV Space, or alternatively email me at richard.scott@ayrshire.ac.uk, or drop on into the college and I'll be happy to see you. We're usually located upstairs in 418. And yeah, just any questions at all, anything you want to know more about, something I've mentioned that you would like more detail on, or something I haven't mentioned and you're wondering if it's covered, by all means ask us questions. We're always happy to field them. Further examples of work, well, you can find further examples of a student work on our ACTV YouTube page or our website, www.actv.space. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen to me prattle on about the course. Just summing up, I think we've got 3 courses, level 5, level 6 and level 7. I think they're all pretty good. Yeah, that's kind of it. Thank you very much for listening, and hopefully see you on one of our courses soon. Thank you.